innovations on the industry and on emerging technology. So today I've been asked to talk about how will conversational AI power tomorrow's banks. So for me, there are three ways that customer behavior is already influencing how conversational AI will power the banking industry. I specifically say customer behavior, as many of you, and as I know, banks aren't always in the lineup when naming the most innovative sectors in the world. Yes, we have leading fintechs changing the game, but has anybody really disrupted the industry or the market just yet? So one to pause and think about, maybe talk about later on. So what are these three ways? I'll specifically use the time that we have today to delve into each one and tell you why and how these areas are going to be the areas that will influence the direction of conversational AI in the banking industry over the next 2 to 5 years. The first one is around integration with social media. The second one will be around easier everyday banking. And the third and last one will be around customized banking innovations. But before I do that, let's talk about today. Let's talk about now. So where are we? Where is AI being used most in the banking industry today, and what impact is it actually having? The first one, we've all been talking about it since the beginning of this, is AI chatbots. And I'm not going to educate everybody because you should have all been listening over the last 2 hours into what that is. Many of you would have come across them, but mainly the use case here is around customer services, around fielding some of the most common service related questions that customers have. And in the world that I live in, when we do customer testing, actually, sometimes chatbots have come on so well over the last few years and are so accurate that when we've done customer testing, customers now are forgiven to actually think that they're actually talking to a real person. What I will say about chatbots today is that they are mainly text-based, so requiring you as the customer to type from either free form or to select from a list of possible answers, as we've seen in some of the demos earlier on today. The second use of AI in banking at the moment is robo-advice platforms. So again, those have come a long way, a significant way, in that it's pretty now very mainstream and is probably amongst one of the top banking innovations over the last 10 to 15 years. So robo-advisors, what are they? They essentially automate the way in which financial investments are managed by a computer algorithm. So it builds your portfolio, it manages that portfolio based on your goals and your tolerance for risk. Some of the key benefits being, lower costs, because, it's done by an algorithm rather than a human financial advisor. And some of the names that you may be familiar with in this space are Vanguard, Betterment, Nutmeg, and Moneybox. And then that brings me to my final kind of use case for AI in banking today, which is around biometric fraud detection. So again, a main use case here is really trying to detect anomalies. So things like the unique way a user types, swipes and taps to the hand that they prefer to hold their device on. So all of this harnesses the power of AI, machine learning and behavioral biometrics to ensure security of the user and the device when making a transaction either through an online payment engine or through your mobile app or mobile banking. So before I move on, I have a poll for you. I want to make this interactive. And I want to understand from you which areas you think banks use AI the most. So Tanvi, if you're able to bring up that poll and let's see what everybody thinks, that'd be great. So I'm on full screen, so I can't actually see what the poll says. Better change that then. Okay. Richard, I might need your help with this because I can't see what the poll is about.
Don't worry, you're no less informed than I am at the minute. I'm still waiting for one to appear at the same time as well. When it does, I'll read it out for you if I can see it.
Perfect.
So yeah, Tanvi is working on the background for us. If you can bring up, there it is. There's Dola's poll. So it simply says, in which areas is AI used most by banks? So it's either onboarding and security, customer services, tailored marketing, or robo-advice.
Yes, please vote and let's see what you guys think. Okay, customer services. Perfect. Is exactly what I thought today. Richard, do you mind going back up again? Thank you. So conversational interfaces like chatbots actually make up roughly only 13.5% of the AI vendor product offerings in banking today. Customer-facing functions, like we've been talking about today, around customer services, marketing, sales, make up just 25% of the total AI vendor product offerings in banking. So that's what research is telling us, that conversational AI like chatbots aren't being invested in as much as other areas of AI. So what is the data pointing towards? The biggest growth area for AI is around risk-related functions, so cybersecurity, compliance, risk management. That's where banks like HSBC are spending a lot of, or investing a lot of our AI technology in those areas. So what is this data pointing towards? What's it telling me? For me, it's that text-based chatbots are soon going to be a thing of the past. Surprise, surprise. AI vendors aren't investing too much of the R&D budgets at the moment into text-based chatbots for front office and customer services related use cases. So what is the future and what are they actually investing in? Let me tell you. Voice. So voice as a natural user interface, or NUI, is powering the beginning of what we're calling the era of sophisticated AI techniques. Voice is part of a broad and ongoing quest for more natural customer interactions, and the technology for voice has been around for a while, but with the growing use of sophisticated AI techniques, it's now moving into a new era of what we're calling real-time conversations. So conversational AI is an area of growing interest, especially among investors and corporations alike. So if you, like me, follow the investments of big corporations like Apple, Google, Microsoft, as an indication maybe of which stocks to buy next, then you will know that over the last year, a lot of them have made some big acquisitions of conversational AI companies. So the first being Apple. So last year, February 2020, they acquired a company called Fullstring, which is a marketplace for voice app developers, for example. The other one is Microsoft and SAP. They've also each acquired conversational AI companies in the last year. And also, more interestingly for me, another indicator of where the industry is moving to is voice is a powerhouse for conversational AI. And around over 50 conversational AI startups have been formed in the last 5 years, making them a really new, relatively young cohort of tech startups that is evolving rapidly. So definitely an area to watch. So let's pause in the future and stay with the present quickly. I'm going to show you some examples of what's happening today. And I know Mark Towler from NatWest did show you an example with NatWest's Cora, which I think is brilliant, by the way. But in the interest of time today, for looking at what we're currently doing today, I'm just going to dive into chatbots. So as we know, AI is changing the game for customer services by introducing the use of chatbots and virtual assistants to answer some of the most common service-related questions. And it's been used widely by banks, as we've all been talking about today. I'm going to focus specifically on some of the nuances between how chatbots are communicating from a more human perspective. And to do this, I'm going to show you two examples, one from HSBC, from MOBA, which is our virtual agent, and the other from Cora, which is NatWest's virtual agent. And what I want you to look at when I'm showing you this video is how they both talk to me as a customer. So in both examples, I've pretended that I've lost my credit card and I need help with it. So I'm going to quickly play you the MOBA one first, so HSBC. Let's stop a minute. Okay, fortunately that's not playing properly, but let me move on to the NatWest one. Okay, so in both scenarios, the wait time is minimal to non-existent to actually speak to someone, so tick on that one. In both scenarios, I haven't been asked 101 questions as to where I lost my card, why I lost it, what I was doing when I was losing it. So if you've ever tried to cancel your card on the telephone with the bank, you probably realize how troublesome and cumbersome that process and painful it can be. So both banks offer a really simple, straightforward response based on the options that I've selected from either corporate or mobile as possible answer base. The issue is pretty much resolved then and there, so I'm able to cancel my card straight away. But the main thing is around the compassion shown. So with NatWest's core, for example, it tells me sorry and understands how inconvenient it is. With HSBC MOBA, we just get straight to the point and it tells us what we need to do next. Both are great in resolution response times, but which one do you think, from a customer experience point of view, is providing the customer a sense of the human side of things that can easily be lost in AI and chatbots? So again, another quick poll, tell me if that's okay for you to put up. Okay, I think I'll move on. So at the beginning, I promised I'll delve into 3 areas that customer behavior is going to influence how conversational AI will power the banking industry. So now I've told you that this is moving towards real conversational AI techniques using voice-based interactions rather than text. So let's dig a little bit further into that. WhatsApp. So WhatsApp is a great example of the correlation between social media and how it can reset customer behaviors and their expectations. However, on the topic of real conversational AI and the use of voice as a natural user interface, Clubhouse is one to watch. So for those of you who are not yet on Clubhouse or don't know what it is, let me quickly tell you. Clubhouse is partly a radio, partly conference call, and partly like listening to other people's conversations. Clubhouse is a social networking app that is based on audio chats. You listen in on conversations, interviews, discussion between interesting people and influencers on different topics. It's like tuning into a podcast, but live and with an added layer of exclusivity, because you can't just download it from the App Store and create an account. So much like a real life exclusive golf club, you have to be invited to join by an existing member. So it's real world elitism in the virtual world. And when you join, you select topics of interest like tech, books, business, or health. And the more information you give the app, the more conversation rooms it will advise you to join, and the more individuals the app will recommend that you follow. So the conversation room is just like a conference call, but with some people in it on the call talking and some people listening in. And just like a phone call, once the conversation is over, the room is closed. Now, the reason why I'm using this example is because much like WhatsApp and WeChat, which is used widely in China, in Hong Kong, for example, where HSBC operates quite widely, it's really changed the game and expectations on how our customers are expecting to be serviced. So I believe that social media apps like Clubhouse will set the same precedents. So for example, we know that financial services ecosystems are emerging in Asia. WeChat is very similar to WhatsApp, and some of the financial companies like ours in Asia are layering their banking apps on top of existing tech platforms like WeChat. So for example, if you were to send your account details to a friend, you can pay directly via Pay Me on WeChat, for example, rather than having to log back into your account and do it there. You can do it directly in the WeChat app. APIs also exist with non-financial services companies like EDF, for example. So EDF is a utilities company in the UK. They've integrated with WhatsApp. When you start to chat with an agent, it diverts you to the WhatsApp app and you can talk to them directly there. So if Clubhouse continues to gain the momentum and popularity in moving users away from text-based interactions to more voice-based interactions, then it's an indication of what's to come, and I expect that banks will follow suit at a later date. The second one I want to talk about is making for easier everyday banking. And this is where I think conversational AI will power the future of banking most rapidly. So we've talked about natural language processing, which is a component of artificial intelligence, and understanding multiple languages and accents is a really interesting use case. And let's take the SoftBank robot named Pepper, which we've used at HSBC. Pepper is capable of recognizing basic human emotions, understanding different accents, and adapting its behavior accordingly. So let's watch a quick video. I won't play the whole thing, but just to give you an idea of what Pepper does.
Thanks. Jerry, I've notified the branch management of your request to speak to an associate. Slim. Lost your debit or ATM card? A banker can help you now. You can also call us on 800-975-4722 or report your card lost or stolen from your online account. Deposit checks, pay bills, and lots more. What would you like to learn more about? Pay bills on your phone. With mobile bill pay, you can pay virtually anywhere in the US you would pay with a check in a fraction of the time, and it's free.
So yeah, over the last 5 years, myself and others in the banking industry have been talking more and more about what's the future of branch. And even more so now as we move to a post-COVID era, and we're thinking about, how do we make our branches much more relevant in a safe but engaging way, and could innovations for everyday banking like Pepper be the way forward? So in some ways, Pepper functions almost like a concierge service, a human concierge service. It asks a customer who needs help, what they need help with, and then it can communicate directly with some of our branch staff as well to route the customer to the appropriate person. It's helped to reduce waiting times in some of the branches that we've tested it in, and it offers a really, it allows our staff to then offer more high value services like maybe mortgage appointments or one-on-one financial reviews. So in conclusion, helping with everyday banking in the form of concierge services via a natural language robot like Pepper could be another way AI can power the future of banking. Then customized banking innovation. So this one is quite interesting. Part of my remit in my day-to-day working life is initiating and observing customer testing. Whenever we put early prototypes of financial advice products in front of our customers, some of the feedback we've received is that it can often feel very impersonal, very generic, and it also tends to be overly reliant on subjective advice rather than actual personal advice based on the customer itself. And that's because the product and customer information that we need to improve it can be hard to pull together, and that's both within the bank itself. As we probably know, banks can be very siloed organizations, but it's also hard to pull it together across different institutions. So we know open banking is improving that, but that's just within the banking industry. What about other industries as well? So the idea of self-driving finance is a completely reimagined experience where an AI-based agent can provide you with advice and transactions and transact on your behalf. It's what we're calling or is known as autonomous finances, in that your finances should be self-driving. So you set the destination, the platform will figure out how to get there quickly and safely. And self-driving finance is about offering you guidance on complex decisions, routing you, such as home buying or investment planning or even retirement planning, for example. And at the same time, it will have the ability to automate routine transactions for you, such as bill payments or purchases. And the bank can identify how much savings a customer can make and essentially automate that day-to-day financial decision-making for the customer and move that money automatically to different accounts or to make purchases on behalf of the customer where it benefits the customer. This is already starting to take shape, and what you'll see is sections within mobile apps at the moment titled Insights or Insight Hubs. Essentially, it's about delivering personalized AI-driven insights and suggestions to the user, Santander have a really good version of this called My Money Manager, which you can see in the background there. And it's integrated into their UK mobile banking app at the moment. And within that section, what you'll get is financial tips. You may get nudges and personalized insights into your spending, into upcoming financial commitments, and they are sent via push notifications and what they call an insight inbox. In HSBC as well, we've done something very, very light where we can look at your commitments, your spending commitments over the next month. So your direct debits, your standing orders, or upcoming payments coming out of your account, and we can provide you with a balance after bill so you understand what your balance will be by the end of the month. However, both of those examples are text-based and only scratch the surface. The power behind this is that customization and the ability for system voice notifications to be put on top of that rather than text-based push notifications that will notify the customer of the more complex automations that they have been doing in the background on their behalf. So let's take the example on screen. I had hoped that I would be able to get my technology to read it out like I'm an Alexa or something, so I'm going to have to do it myself. So it's 9:12 a.m. on the 23rd of February, 2023. I will get a system voice notification on my phone. And the reason why I'll get this on my phone is because I've given, as a customer, my consent that my bank can and should be able to make investment decisions on my behalf. So I would have said something like, whenever I have spare money lying around, other than what I need for day-to-day expenses, reinvest it into whatever earns me the highest return. So in that case, I will get a system notification which says, hey Dollar, I'm transferring £15,000 of your free cash to your Hargreaves Lansdown investment account, and I'm going to buy Amazon ticker AMZN at $2,021 per share. Also, your home insurance has been renewed for 12 months. You save £500 in premium in comparison to last year. A couple of weeks later, I'll receive another system voice notification at 1:12 p.m. on the 2nd of March, which tells me, hey Dollar, you made a profit of £600 on that Amazon transaction on the 23rd of February, 2023. I've transferred £100 to your daughter's junior ISA and cleared £500 on Amex credit card ending 4422. An updated investment report is now in your inbox. So the last interesting example in this space then is how augmented reality and virtual reality will play a part. There are progressive banks and fintechs that are already wowing customers in this space by demonstrating virtual reality and augmented reality features in their products. So for example, Westpac, which is a bank in New Zealand, they are providing a debit card with an AR engagement that can be viewed through your smartphone. So I'm going to quickly play this video for you. And what you can see is data visualization of your finances and budgets through the smartphone's app and through the smartphone's augmented reality. There are only a few of these examples at the moment. It is very, very new, but actually what's going to be the game changer is when we start to overlay voice capability on top of AI-powered virtual reality experiences that can really drive customer behavior and become a game changer for disruption for the future of banking. So let me play this for you quickly.
Our customers, and shortly our customers will be the first in the world to use augmented reality to make everyday banking easier and faster for things such as account management, understanding everyday spending on your credit and your debit cards, and this is just the start of an augmented reality banking revolution. Now, keeping it simple, take your credit or your debit card out of your wallet or your purse, place it under the camera, and you're in action. You'll be able to see what you're spending your money on. Check your available balance, the last 5 transactions, how much you've spent on your card in the last 5 weeks. See when your next payment is due and the minimum amount to be paid. You'll even be able to make the payment from the app. You'll be able to see how many hot points you've got, and soon we'll bring the whole hot points catalogue to life in 3D. You'll be able to locate the nearest Westpac ATM and any of our network of ATMs when you're overseas. Customers and technology are changing banking rapidly. Here at Westpac New Zealand, we're focused on meeting that challenge by watching global trends and listening to our customers.
And that's exactly what it's all about, looking at global trends, listening to the customers and changing banking to meet their needs and their expectations. So there you have it, 3 ways that conversational AI will power tomorrow's bank. We'll see a move from text-based conversational AI to more voice-based AI. Social media and customer behaviors will be a driving force. Secondly, the use of natural language processing will lead to more convenient and simpler ways to conduct your everyday banking. And lastly, this will open up opportunities in the self-driven automated finance field, which will use insights about you, about your spending and your goals to formulate personal advice and transact for the good of your financial well-being. So thank you very much. As I said, please do follow my blog, www.stayexperiencing.com, where I discuss ideas such as this all the time. And you can find me on LinkedIn. And if you have any questions whatsoever, please drop me an email. I'm sure the team will be able to provide my email address to anybody that has any questions. Thank you.